Hey, it's Bryce with Paintball Addiction. We're going to go through the Spyder VS series marker. This one's a little more complicated than a normal Spyder. It takes a little bit more care and maintenance than a normal Spyder, but it's an excellent performer. I used one of these in a tournament with it was actually a VS2 with a Tadao board in it. Performed flawlessly. I was very pleased. Your first step with the Spyder VS is simply take out the bolt. It's just a Delrin bolt, pull up on the pin, slide it out, wipe it off, clean it, whatever. Okay? There's a small screw placed down here that just remove this screw in the back. And you can pop out all your internal components. The only thing that you really need to lube on the Spyder VS is just the striker, and that's not too common. Just take the one O-ring on the front of the striker. That's all you need to lube. That's all you need to do. Very simple. I like to use Dow 33. At the same time, a normal paintball gun oil like Gold Cup or such lube will work fine. But just lube the front of this up a little bit, and then you're ready to just, slide it back in the back with everything together, put that screw back in, put the bolt in, you're done. That's your normal maintenance on the Spyder VS. Now, one thing of note is that the Spyder VS uses the Spyder's new balance valve system. It's a little higher maintenance than the normal Spyder. You've probably seen a VS on the field sputtering and coughing like it was choking and dying, not shooting right, needing recocked. It's just because their valve needs maintained and they haven't done it, or they're not aware that they're supposed to do it. Go ahead and take your grip off, and you'll see a screw right here. Go ahead and pull that screw out. Okay. Now, the front block will slide out here like this. And you'll notice another screw right here behind dry wires. That needs to be removed as well. That's your actual valve retaining screw. Okay. Now take something, a pencil eraser, a battle swab, something soft. Push the valve out. Okay. This is your Spyder VS valve, the balance valve. The big difference is, as you can see, it's a lot bigger than a normal Spyder valve. The cup seal is not removable out the front. The balance valve actually comes unscrewed in the middle here. There's a little O-ring in there that needs lubed once in a while, so just go ahead and put a little bit of lubricant on it. Now, the reason that these cough and sputter is because as you're shooting and the marker's vibrating, they come unscrewed. So every once in a while, you want to make sure that they're just screwed together good and tight. Okay? Now, when you put it back in the marker, you want to make sure that the hole that you can see the valve pin or the cup seal pin and stuff through goes up, and that the solid one faces down. Cup seal goes towards the front. So go ahead and just reinstall this. Reinstall your big screw. take your front block, slide it back in there, put this screw back in it. This is a very good high-performance marker. I find the Spyder VS series to be vastly superior to the Ion, and actually cheaper. Your one difference is that it is a little higher maintenance because you do have to watch that valve. As long as your valves stay screwed together and you keep your pressures set right, a lot of people are running these way too low of a pressure. They try to run them at 150 to 180 psi. Marker won't function right then. It needs a little more pressure than that to be able to work. That's another reason that you hear a lot of them coughing and sputtering, is people are just trying to run them entirely too low. I recommend running them at about 220 to 250. It's still pretty low pressure, but it works really well. I actually run mine at 250 exactly, but okay, go ahead and put your trigger frame back on. Now you need to make sure your eye wires line up correctly. There's a little slot in the trigger. This wire needs to come in that slot. Otherwise you'll pinch your eye wires and end up with all sorts of fun headaches. Okay, so go ahead and put that in. Put your front screw back in. This one doesn't actually have any batteries, so I'm going to go ahead and just put the striker in now. The striker, the hole goes up because that's where your bolt's going to lock in. The flat spot goes down. Go ahead and slide that in, along with all your screws and stuff. Normally, you're going to have to pull the trigger a couple of times to get that to slide in past the sear. Since this gun doesn't have any batteries, I have to just take the whole frame off, but since I've already got it removed, I can do that pretty easily. Now, make sure that the hole is lined up straight up. And put your bolt in, and lock the pin down through that hole. Put your back velocity adjuster and stuff back in. Once again, your velocity adjuster is here in this back screw, not in the regulator. Regulator can be used to adjust your velocity, but it's kind of asking for problems. Put your frame screw back in to hold that in place. Okay, and you're done. Very simple, very, takes a little bit of time, and it's a little more of a learning curve than most people with Spyders like. But like I said, this gun performs awesome. I would have no problem taking this out into Division II, semi-pro, whatever tournament and playing with one of these, as long as it was properly maintained. They're a very, very good high-performance marker. I very much like them, and I very much recommend them. Just got to take care of them.